The drums of political betrayal are loud, but a fear of backroom interest behind policies are playing in the public. A keen tone between rewarding campaign loyalists or making or rather galvanizing new ethnic bases. Where are the rest of Kenyans? But why did Moses Wetangula not follow former Speaker Justice Muturi's ruling? Welcome to the Bold Analysis. This is the most informative political podcast in Kenya. We are looking at what Sunday Digest have tried to lay bare to Kenyans. Former Speaker Justin Muturi made a ruling in the 12th Parliament that a court cannot issue an injunction on Parliament, but they can only rule on the final outcome of a parliamentary process. And so, Moses Wetangula is in a hot soup because that was a document that he just needed to invoke to make sure that everything goes as William Ruto planned. The Law Society of Kenya went to court demanding answers. Why out of the 51 nominees for permanent secretaries, 13 were from the Kalenjin community and 13 were from the Gema community. And I hear in clear terms that that list did not meet the regional balance threshold. A lawyer or someone who can really talk about this from a point of knowledge. The regional balance issue, is it normally on moral grounds or it is anchored somewhere in law? That is something that I've really been trying to find out because I realize that even at the devolved government, at the county government, it's actually playing out where governors are finding it difficult for their ministers to be approved because of the regional balance. So I need just to take you through what is happening. When William Ruto went to Ethiopia, that is the time that applications for those who wanted to be permanent secretaries were made. And the Public Service Commission shortlisted 477 people to be considered for those positions. But when William Ruto came back on the very weekend, there was discussion on how that list was supposed to be done. And the list was advanced and some other people were added and it scaled up to 508. Amongst the 20, out of the 20, around 25 people that were added, or not 25, around 29 people that were added in that list, quite a number of them made in the final 51 wish list. And what we are saying is Gachagua seems to be pushing a 50-50 government share. And when we say this, it's sometimes treated as a propaganda. And so without much ado, I want us to head direct to Tharaka Nithi. And Gachagua made some speech there on what exactly he thinks how exactly he thinks the government should be run.
Tukasema huyu Profesa Kindiki hata kama ni mfupi akili yake ni mingi. Na ndio tukasema huyu amechunga kura ya William Ruto ikitaka kuibiwa, wacha achunge usalama ya Kenya. Na saa hii tunaongea ako pande ya pwani, anang'ang'ana na magaidi na wakora. Pale Nairobi walikuwa wameanza kuleta mchezo. Profesa ametoa makucha, wameenda chini ya meza. Kwa hivyo huyu Profesa Kindiki mmepata. Tumepatia nyinyi principal secretary. Pale Meru tumepatia Mithika Linturi waziri wa kilimo. Tumetoka hapo, ile kiti ilikuwa ya Kenoti, tumeipandisha, tumepatia mtu kutoka Imenti, IG anaitwa Jafeth Kome, ako pale. Tumerudi hapo, tumeenda Tigania, tumeweka PS. Tumetoka hapo, tumekuja tena hapo Imenti, tumeweka PS na Linturi ametoka pale Igembe. Tumeenda hapa Embu pande ya mbele, Justin Muturi atone general. Hapo pande ya Embu, hapo Runyenjes tumeweka PS. Na mambo bado. Mambo iko jiani. Iko ingine tutatangaza hivi karibuni, mnasikia Embu, Tharaka Nithi, Meru. Siko namna hiyo? Iko ingine mabarozi, Embu, Tharaka Nithi, Meru. Kwani iko nini? Si serikali nyinyi mmetupatia? Si ndio yetu? Si mtu anapanda pahali alivuna? Unavuna pahali ulipanda? Mlipanda ama kupanda? Mkivuna iko makosa? Tena mvune kabisa. Watu ya Tharaka Nithi mvune. Hii serikali ni yenu. Na ndio watu wajue mambo ya kupiga kura. Wewe upange vile unapiga kura. Sasa nimeona huyu muungwana alikuwa hapa analia ati hakupigia sisi kura. Iko shida gani? Si atatupigia mwaka ujao?
Ladies and gentlemen, since when did government jobs become items just to be dished out to people because of policing communities? It is an open secret from what Gachagua is saying there, that he wants to give people positions in those areas so that they create, or rather they galvanize, he galvanizes the bases, different bases in Mount Kenya. Absolutely, there is no problem with people getting jobs. But when you draw, when you bring a formula of giving jobs in terms of those bases, I wonder what the rest of Kenyans are supposed to believe or what the rest of Kenyans are supposed to take. A very quick rejoinder. Not everyone, and Kenyans need just to be a little bit smart or come out of the box. When someone says we are giving Gema or we are giving Kalenjin, that person is lying to you. Or is giving Luo, or is giving Kisi, that person is lying to you. They are giving to individuals they know from those areas. If someone is a PS, permanent secretary in a ministry, and is been from my village, honestly, PS does not have any kitty. He actually executes government, mainstream government agendas. So he doesn't have a CDF or equalization fund somewhere, or any fund set aside special for doing something in the ground. So we must accept that it is politically indecent to dish out positions to regions, while in real sense we are just giving individuals. And we're saying we are giving regions. Nothing like, okay, if it is going to be given to my region in Siaya, then just walk to my place and pick my retired English teacher, Mr. Frederick Odhiambo, and give him a job. Yes, if it is just being given to region. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to look at the photo you're seeing on your screen. I have picked that photo for a reason. That is the last photo that William Ruto, that is the day William Ruto went to the office of Jubilee, the Jubilee headquarters, and he went to ascertain why the Jubilee party was not going to field a candidate in Msambweni by-election. And so Jubilee had agreed to support the ODM candidate. And there was that, he went there in his capacity as I think the deputy president or deputy party leader, if I'm not wrong, as the deputy party leader. And the conversation was so ripe that already National Executive Committee, Council of the party, had made a decision to strike off his name as the deputy party leader of the Jubilee party. And from this day, William Ruto never went again to Jubilee headquarters. In fact, it is the day that he started the mass exodus from the party. Why am I saying that? That a moment came after some time when William Ruto was in public denying that everything is fine between him and President Uhuru Kenyatta, even though in public there was, it could be displayed in public because the BBA issue had already created the divide. Ruto had taken his position and was running with an opposition of the BBI, and they were at crossroads against President Uhuru Kenyatta. But at the party level, he insisted that no one can throw me away from the party. I need to get one of the clips.
Sijui kama tunaelewana mangwana. Hiyo mimi nawapatia ilani ya mapema. Hamna nafasi ya mambo hiyo katika sehemu hii. Hiyo watafanyia kule. Hamuwezi kunifukuza ODM ati mkanifuata ati mnanifukuza Jubilee. Haiwezekani. We don't have space for those things. So if you think you are going to use the handshake to export conmanship into our party, we are telling you that's not going to happen. Fanyeni kazi nyingine ya maana. Tunaelewana? Hiyo muelewe na mapema. Ndio mjipange kutoka huko.
Believe me you, that is the position that Rigathi Gachagua is in now. I can tell you, that is the position. William Ruto was constantly defending a union with Uhuru Kenyatta, while this says it wasn't there. Even though the shrewd Ruto was running his deals behind the scene to form the UDA party. So Rigathi Gachagua has found himself coming in public more than 2 times, and they're just 75 days in office defending their relationship with William Ruto. With that defense that everything is fine, when Mutahi Kahiga spoke, he came out and said this marriage is intact. Today, of course, this story was all out there. You needed to get this. This story of trouble in paradise over key appointments was all there. This is, I think you need to get it. I don't know whether my cameraman can pan the camera. Yes. So, he is coming in public to defend that relationship. There is no magical science. Rigathi Gachagua also have presidential ambitions. It might be too early to make that prediction, but the writing is on the wall. So what is exactly happening here is that Gachagua wants the marriage to remain intact because he wants to use it for his presidential bid. The same thing that William Ruto was doing to make sure that Jubilee is there so that he can use Jubilee for his presidential bid. Writing was on the wall. There was that breakout. There was that breakup. And so I think Gachagua should learn what exactly is happening. This, according to LSK, was for them to squash the list. And what happened, you need to get the coherence well. When that list was sent to Parliament and LSK went to court, Wetangula suspended the vetting of the PS nominees. One ground. The argument here is that with the document, or rather with that ruling that CS Muturi had made, and if it was CS Muturi in that position, he wouldn't have suspended it. Behind the scene, who took government to court? And look at it this way. This has also been seen as the delay, creating the delay in nomination of the chief administrative secretaries, because even that is also in court. And Wetangula rushed to suspend it in the guise of maybe following the rule of law, which I totally accept. I think Ruto regime had set that as from onset that they want to be a government that obeys the rule of law. And however, some other quarters feel that Wetangula was dancing to a different tune from that of William Samoei Ruto. Why did he rush to make it? I just want to make it clear. Forces within government, I know I have seen Cherargei defending, but forces within government is purely behind the court injunctions. There is a lot of backstabbing, and who is taking government to court is someone within. The forces within. They might likely go to court so that they make sure that this process is relocate. It's one probability on it. And number two, Musalia Mudavadi wing camp, recently Musalia Mudavadi met with Western leaders who feel like they've gotten a raw deal, could possibly form a temporary secret deal with Rigathi Gachagua to prevail upon William Ruto to heed to their interest. Those are two possibilities. And that is what is at the center of those chaos. So that Ruto can listen to their voices. Gachagua envisions a two-legged stool where William Ruto on the other end and him on the other end. That's why I think the issue of the 50-50. Even though now Ruto is a president, also he has to take the third one. I don't think it's a three-legged stool. I don't think it's Gachagua, Mudavadi, and Ruto. I think it's Gachagua and Ruto. So the two-legged stool is supposed to help Rigathi Gachagua to stand on the other side. And he has said many other times, actually he is stressing in public that Gema should thank themselves for having voted for William Ruto and taking the credit of Gema supporting William Samoei Ruto. Absolutely, there is no problem with that. So it's already creating that ground, and possibly the decision by Rigathi Gachagua to make sure that Gema, or rather Mount Kenya, reunites around his shadow, and he wants to pluck them from William Ruto, is sitting pretty uncomfortable with the CEO of the country. In what Ruto envisioned was to use these young politicians to upset the regional kingpins, and after upsetting the regional kingpins, he would actually talk to the people direct. William Ruto campaigned, and there is a little bit of opinions are divided on whether what Ruto got from Mount Kenya, was it because of himself or because of Rigathi Gachagua and the other leaders? That's a question that only Gema leaders can answer. We worry is we are treading very dangerous path, because with that aspect of dividing government in terms of that, we risk cronyism. And cronyism limits meritocracy, where we will give to friends. Without meritocracy, we are most likely going to plunder this country in corruption. I've seen Malai jailing their vice president of some 30 million bribe on a tender. So if we take that direction, we need to be careful. With that direction, cronyism is most likely to sink in. It encourages winner takes all. The winner takes all notion is what was the reason behind BBI, rather the handshake, and it will mostly polarize the nation. We want to have 2027 campaigns that are the same as these other ones. We want to have issue-based politics. So the politics of regions and that will actually encourage winner takes all. And that's what Rigathi Gachagua is saying in that clip, that Simuli Chagua. So it's your time. That's the end of the podcast. Asanteni.